never thought falling in love could mean running for my life. But there I was, barefoot in the woods of Oregon, clutching his hand like it was the only thing keeping me alive. Ethan and I had planned this trip for months. A cozy cabin in the Cascade Mountains. No cell signal, no work calls, just us, fresh air, and maybe a bottle of wine or three. It was supposed to be the kind of week you remembered for how much you smiled, not for how much you bled. The first day was perfect. We'd hiked to a hidden waterfall, our laughter echoing in the trees. At night, the rain tapped gently against the cabin windows while we curled up under a blanket, the fire painting his face in warm gold. I caught him looking at me like he wanted to memorize every detail, and I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, this was the start of forever. But forever was shorter than I imagined. On the second night, I woke to the sound of something heavy crashing outside. Ethan stirred beside me, eyes foggy with sleep. "Probably a deer," he mumbled. But there was something in his voice, a thin thread of unease. I slipped on my hoodie and stepped onto the porch. The rain had stopped, but the night air felt thick, charged. The woods were silent, too silent. Then I saw it. Our car doors hanging open, the headlights dimming, the trunk rifled through. My stomach turned cold. When I whispered his name, Ethan was already behind me, his arm brushing mine. That small touch, even in fear, was grounding. But the crunch of a branch in the dark snapped us both into reality. We weren't alone. A figure emerged from the trees. At first, I thought it was a hiker, lost maybe, but then the glint of a hunting knife caught the porch light. My breath hitched. Ethan stepped in front of me, shoulders squared, but I could feel his pulse racing under his skin. The man didn't speak. He just smiled slow, deliberate, and walked away into the woods. But that smile felt like a promise. We spent the rest of the night barricading the doors with furniture. Sleep was impossible. Every gust of wind made the cabin walls creak like a warning. By morning, Ethan's hand hadn't left mine once. We should have left right then. But love makes you believe you can handle anything together. That afternoon, we tried to hike down to the ranger station. The trail was muddy, branches clawing at our clothes. We didn't realize until too late that we were being followed. Ethan squeezed my hand so tightly it hurt. "Don't look back," he whispered. His voice was steady, but I knew him well enough to hear the tremor underneath. We ran. Branches whipped my face. My chest burned. Every time I stumbled, his hand yanked me forward, refusing to let go. Somewhere in the chaos, our fingers laced tighter, a silent vow. If one went down, the other would, too. When we finally stopped, bent over and gasping, we were at the edge of a steep ravine. The sound of footsteps behind us made my blood run cold. The man stepped into view again, closer now. His knife caught the last sliver of daylight. And then, without a word, he lunged. Ethan shoved me out of the way. I hit the ground hard, pain shooting up my side. The world became a blur of motion shouts. The glint of steel, Ethan's hands grappling for control. I don't remember grabbing the rock. I just remember the sound it made when it connected. The man crumpled. Silence. Ethan's chest rose and fell like he'd run a marathon. His eyes found mine, wild and shining. "We have to move. Now." We didn't stop until the forest thinned and we saw the lights of the ranger station. By then, my legs felt like lead and my lungs like fire, but his arm was around my waist, steadying me. The ranger called for help. The police took our statements. They said we were lucky, but lucky wasn't the word I'd use. I felt raw, stripped down to the core of who I was. And in that stripped-down place, I realized something. Danger had burned away all the noise. All that was left was him. That night, in the sterile safety of a motel room, Ethan held me like he was afraid I'd vanish. I could feel his heartbeat against my cheek. Steady now, sure. We didn't talk much, words felt too small. When I finally pulled back, I saw the question in his eyes. I didn't let him ask it. I kissed him. Not out of relief, but out of certainty. We'd come here for a romantic escape. We'd left with scars and a story that would never fade. But somewhere in the fear, in the fight, in the breathless moments between life and death, Love had rooted itself deeper than I thought possible. And I knew, in a way I'd never known before, that I wasn't running from anything anymore. I was running toward him. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.